Why do you think you were like easy to hate, if that's an okay question?
Well, look, I was like young and wearing fucking cool jeans,
fur,
and I had some
not
like.
fur. You never did you ever wear fur? Be honest, dude. If you ever wore fur,
I never wore fur. Not faux fur. Is that what you call fake fur? Faux? Is it fox?
First, hopefully, I would assume, being from Massachusetts, you would go with real fur, dude. That's Paul Revere country. You guys have earned the real fur. But did you ever wear fur? No,
I did not. No, we didn't. But my mom had some fur coats,
that's awesome,
so I probably did throw on one of my mom's furs.
Fuck yeah, but not once you got it popular.
No, once I made it, it was like tight shirts and the image that I was trying to create. Steve Martin, the white suit, the dichotomy of being like, hey, I'm dressed up really nice, but I'm being like wacky, and then Dice, of course, the element of like badass and cool. Eddie Murphy in the leather outfit. I was figuring out, hey, you know what my thing is? Like, I'm coming up with this next generation, and dudes are more fashionista in many ways than in the past. So I just found my niche. And I played up on that. And then I could understand years later looking back like, oh my God, I wouldn't have liked that guy either.
Wow.
It's hindsight is an incredibly prolific thing. And you don't know at the time. You just think you're doing the best you can to try to create an image that resonates.
Yeah. And you did a great job. So at a certain point,
because when you say like, the jealousy and Theo, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at 20,000 people. I wasn't looking at the one guy in the comment section who was
right,
like,
of course, yeah.
So
you're looking at the Madison Square Garden. You're looking at the proof that was in front of you.
Yeah,
was that everything I'm doing is right.
Yeah, it was like I was just looking at the love from the fans that I had found or who found me. So it really didn't hit me until many, many years later of like, oh, wow, there's really some genuine animosity. And it's just up to me to have conversations like this with my peers, with the brotherhood of comedy, to say, I'm accessible. And, if you're a fan, I'm accessible. You could DM me. I write everybody back. Sometimes people write me and say, hey, man, I'm having a shitty day. And I go, here's what you need to do. Yeah. Because I'm super sensitive. And I'm empathetic to that. So the perception of me, very different than who I am when I'm just, at home kicking it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because if I'm real candid, it was just like, what is Dane? Like, Dane seems like this, I don't know, like this, kind of like this Pluto, kind of like this thing where people don't know, but for some reason people have felt rubbed the wrong way, Yeah. But then also has probably had the ability to garner a huge amount of jealousy over time as well. So, there's a lot of factors in there. I bet it was probably hard to sift through some of that if you even wanted to look at it.
It was like, because it wasn't, even though it wasn't affecting me directly in terms of like business, it affected like my fans didn't like feeling like they were.
Then if you were a Dane fan, then it was like weird.
Right. There was a period where it's like people were like, hey, I say I like you, and then I get attacked by other people.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
But what you start
I'm in a wheelchair because I was, at your Madison Square Garden 20,000 seat show.
What you start to realize.
What's going on, bro?
Here's the breaking news in what everybody learns when you become successful. And what you're learning, you right now you're in the pink cloud phase. Everything's, everybody's finding you and discovering you and passing you around. Everything is mediocre. Everything. Every single thing is mediocre. Aerosmith, I love them. There's somebody going, it's not my thing. You can't name a book, a magician. Nobody.
Definitely can't name a magician.
No, you can't name magicians.
And can we just admit magicians are comedians' arch nemesis?
Are they really?
I mean,
that should be a movie.
Who else is it? Yeah, it should be a movie, dude, and it definitely should be a movie. Who else could our arch nemesis be?
No, that's it.
It has to
you
be
win.
Magicians.
That's it. Yeah. That's the end of that run right there.
But I interrupted.
But everything is. You find out success introduces you to mediocrity, because then everybody outside of your realm is gonna tell you why you're not that great and what sucks about you. You know, we're watching careers right now of people. Let's just say in the last 5 years, and what do? They get white hot, and then and then it's like the spanking machine. Everybody's going to get tagged, and we're going to find things out that we don't like about him. And then what happens is your fan base, the bottom of the V right here, they're still, pretty much rock solid in place, most of them. And then everybody out here is in the business of telling you, yeah, we don't care.
Right.
And they want to tell you, and they're going to reach out to tell you. All we can do, just come up with the next set, next joke, get up on stage, try to have a few more laughs with our friends, family, and then do one more show. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. We definitely seem to be really fearless, that's for sure. Like just to
because I grew up in fear.
To continue to keep your head down and keep going.
Grew up in fear. When you grow up in fear-based, which I was, then man, just once I found this conduit comedy, once I had that, it was like the dilithium crystal. I had fucking superpowers. I had this ability to actually be present and important to people when I didn't even feel important to myself.
Right.
It took a long time for all those things to equate a well-rounded, healthy lifestyle, both on and off stage, to be able to have great conversations like this.
Yeah.
Do
you did you have an idea what you thought like being a star was or something like that before you like hit like a level of stardom popularity?
Oh, what a great question, man. That I remember seeing guys like Robin Williams playing like Garp. And
like A World According to Garp?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite books of all time.
Love it. Book, amazing. The film, awesome. He was awesome. And I was looking at a lot of comedic actors and admiring that they could tell different kinds of stories. They could make you laugh. Maybe they could make you cry. To me, that was like an interesting route for a career. So what I did, and where it plays into the question, is like I took my foot off the gas of what I knew people had discovered me as, and was like, I'm going to downshift and try to go in that direction so I could have some more credibility and outside of comedy. Deconstructed myself really in the mid 2000 era.
You mean like with films and stuff like that, with that kind of work?
Yeah, because then I started getting some opportunity to do things that were very different from stand-up, based on my stand-up. Kevin Costner was a fan of my stand-up and then said, do you want to play a serial killer in this movie with me? And it was like, suddenly that was when I felt a certain level of stardom, when I was not so much from the comedy ever, but from the being received. And this all comes back to inclusion and feeling isolated as a kid. Mm-hmm. Kevin Costner's and Demi Moore's and Juliette Binoche and Steve Carell, people that I loved to watch them do things that were so drastically different, were now saying, hey, you
right, yeah, you're one of us. Yeah.
So that's when I started to feel a bit of oh wow, I'm in a different circle. Right. I'm in an inner circle.
And do you feel like then you start treating people different? Like was there ever a point you felt like looking back, like, oh, I was an asshole?
I never felt like I was an asshole.
Yeah.
I never felt like I had never gotten to a place where I had seen some other comedians in some other behaviors. There was
Eddie Griffin is who he's talking about.
There were some magicians out there actually who were fucking assholes.
Yeah, Siegfried and Tiger Face, whatever that guy's name was.
I saw that. I saw some behavior in other, not even just comedians, but just in other celebrities. Having been in LA for a bit, and I thought it was really deplorable. And I wanted to be a person that, if you could approach me, if you felt like I was approachable, that there was something to be gleaned from both my success and failure. So I never felt like an asshole. I would listen to people talk about me. Joan Rivers, I'd never met, and she called me an asshole on Stern. I'd never met her. I never made a Joan Rivers joke. I respected that woman. She
was cool.
Built it and cool and funny and always funny.
She used all the racial slurs once on TMZ, and it's still one of my favorite clips. I watch it at night sometimes before bed.
Yeah. That's your bedtime regimen.
Well, I mean, it's like,
you put on some creams and then you watch Joan.
She's like, somebody's a this and somebody's a this and somebody's a this and somebody's a this, and people just need to get used to it.
Well, Joan, called me an asshole, and I remember I was.
And you never met her.
Never met her, and I was. I was like mortified.
Why did you think that? Either A, I'm such an asshole that it's reached Joan Rivers, like the rumor of it,
No.
or that what is going on that people think this, or just that I've become a name that people for some reason associate with this?
You know what? If I was going to get really, if I was going to go deep into like the human element, the id, super id, what's going on with this, I would say the one thing I didn't realize how to do was reach out early in my career when I broke through to celebrate some of the comedians that came before me. If I met you, I met Dice at the pizza place. And I can only, I'm guessing, but maybe it hurt her that I had arrived and maybe didn't shout her out.
Right.
You know, because we're all so fucking sensitive.
Yeah.
And what I've learned about her from other people was, hey man, she was very sensitive too. See, we're all that. And so having people call you an asshole from time to time is, it was actually kind of, it was confusing.
Was it uplifting in a weird way though? Was there part of your ego or part of you, I mean, part of any of our ego where like, at least they're talking about me?
Well, the part that you...
Because you've had, and I ask you this because you've had, I mean, you know, there's not anybody else that I could think of that's had the same story that you've had.
The best part about being considered, being ostracized in a way where people think you're like the bad guy or an asshole or whatever is, for me, I can only talk about my experience, but for me, it was like, good. This is an armor to keep the people that have hurt me my whole life away because they're a little scared of me. Because they think I'm something beyond just a regular guy, which I'm just a regular dude. I'm just funny for an hour and a half on stage. And otherwise, I'm pretty basic, you know? I'm jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. And, so that to that extent, I didn't mind everybody having an opinion on me. And I didn't really mind if it was harsh. It just started to hurt when... my fans were really included, and my family, even my family, like, why'd this tabloid say this about you? Or that's when it started to get a little confusing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I'm just here to make people laugh. And, I get it. Nobody loves everything.
Right.
More people don't love you. But it was a little weird, Even looking back and talking about it now, it's still like, what did I ever do to anybody except just try to get laughs? The greatest thing that we can do is try to... get laughs.
I'm trying to think.
It wasn't like I'd get laughs and people would be withering and dying, and it's like, give me all the power of laughs.
Right.
To where it's like you would leave an empty fucking theater of just corpses, and you're like, I'm an asshole. I steal souls. It was just like, no, I just want to make you forget about your fucking hardship for a little bit. And if people take issue with that, then that's what other people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah.
And I try to implement that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I wonder why that thing surrounded you so much then, that it was like, I remember the first time, I just wonder why that surrounded you so much.
But it doesn't now, which is kind of funny because if you talk to people now, or even somebody talks to you, it's like, no, once you talk to me and once you hang with me, you'd be like, oh man, he's pretty level-headed, I'm not a person that has a lot of, foibles otherwise, man. I'm pretty I'm a Boston kid, and we say it like it is and wear our heart on our sleeves. And I'm not into playing a character. I'm into my journey for the next many years of my life is like, how can I be more present? How can I be more real? How can I be more authentic?
Yeah.
Organic. That's my journey now.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's such a because after we hung out, I was like, I don't know what, I don't know if, I didn't know what to think. I was like, Dane seems so like normal and I had never.
And I told you my preconceived notion of you.
Yeah.
I was very honest with you about saying, hey man, I prejudged you as well. I thought like, oh, this is a guy that's like trying to make it out of some other career. And is he really a purist? And I was, I wrongly did the same thing.
Yeah.
I took that guy. You left my house that day and I was like, I could grab a lunch with that guy. I like him. You're really, you're deep. You're a deep guy and you're fucking funny. You're funny. You deliver on stage. Everybody knows it. Everybody's chatting about it. So I admire that, but I like that you can do this.
Right.
I wish in some ways I had more of this. Maybe around that time.
Right.
Where the fuck were you, Theo? You could have helped.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I was probably doing cocaine
Come
somewhere.
on, crispy wontons. Let's go. Hashtag crispy wontons.
Well, thanks for watching that video right there. That was a beautiful little segment, I think. But of course, I'm partisan to myself. But you can move on to another video right now. You could check on this video or on this video. That's 2 different options. And you can also subscribe to the channel. Check on a new video. Subscribe to the channel. Check, subscribe, check, subscribe.